This is WASSCE 2017 private exams. Question 7. WASSCE NovDec 2017 question 7. A ship sailed 5,120 kilometers from port X to port Y on a bearing of 345 degrees. It then sailed 448 kilometers on a bearing of 075 degrees to port Z. Calculate, correct to the nearest whole number, the distance from Z to X. B. Bearing of Z from X. C. Time it took to sail from X to Z through Y at a constant speed of 120 kilometers per hour. So we begin by drawing our diagram. We have the port X here, and the bearing is 345 degrees. So we indicate that measuring from the north. So we measure from here until we meet this line. So that is the 345 degrees. 345 degrees. Now, the next thing we do is to indicate where we have landed, which is port Y. It then sailed another 448 kilometers on this bearing of 75. So the bearing is what we'll measure. So measure 75 from the north. So this is 75. So we indicate our landing point here, which is Z. Now we can connect X to Z. Okay. So the next thing we do is to indicate the ports Y and Z. Then we also indicate the necessary information, the distance from X to Y, which is 5,120 kilometers, and this one is 448 kilometers. Now let's calculate the angles. This is 75 degrees, so this angle will be 15. This small angle here will be 15. Then we also have that this is 345, so we subtract 270, subtract 270 from 345 to get the 75 degrees over here, and using the alternate interior angle, this angle is also 75. So you can see that this whole angle here is 90, because 75 plus 15 is 90, telling us that triangle XYZ is a right angle triangle. Now, to calculate ZX, which is the demand of the question, the first part, ZX, what we need to do is to use the Pythagoras theorem, which says that the hypotenuse squared is equal to the sum of the square of the legs, and that will give us that. We substitute to obtain this. Then the next thing we do is to evaluate. We add this to obtain 264,15104. This is a bit huge. So we take the square root of both sides, positive square root, and that will give us 5,139.56 kilometers. And the question demands that we calculate correct to the nearest whole number, and that will give you 5,140 kilometers. Now let's continue to the B part. Bearing of Z from X. So bearing of Z from X, we need to calculate this angle here so that we can measure from X until we meet the ZX line. We know the opposite to this angle is 448, and we know the adjacent to this angle is 5120 kilometers. Therefore, we can use the tangent ratio to obtain angle YXZ. So tangent of angle YXZ will be 448 over 5120. That means tangent of angle YXZ is 7/80. Take the tan inverse of both sides to get angle YXZ to be tan inverse of 7/80, and that will be equal to approximately 5 degrees. So it means this angle is 5 degrees. And since we know this angle to be 5 degrees, we can now calculate this bearing, which will be 345 plus 5 degrees, and that will give you 350 degrees. Therefore, the bearing of Z from X is 350 degrees. Let's continue to the C part. Time it took to sail from X to Z through Y at a constant speed of 120 kilometers. We know the speed is distance over time taken. So we need to calculate the distance, the speed it took from X to Y, then from Y to Z. So from X to Y, the speed will be 120 kilometers per hour, and the time we don't know, but the distance is 448 kilometers. So I'm calculating this one first. Y to Z, the speed is 120 kilometers. We can swap this and this to get this equation, and when we calculate 448 over 120, we get 3.73 hours. So that is the time it took from Y to Z. Now we need to calculate the time it took from X to Y. That way, or in this case, we have to substitute the distance 5120 kilometers. The speed is still the same, which is 120 kilometers, because it says that it travels from X to Z through Y at a constant speed of 120. So the speed is the same throughout the part. We swap again to get this equation, and we calculate 5120 divided by 120 to get 42.67 hours. So we put the two times together to get the time taken from port X to Z through Y at 120 km per hour to be 3.73 hours plus 42.63 hours, which is equal to 46.40, and to the nearest whole number it took the shape 46 hours. Don't forget to comment if you don't understand something. Share this video with your friends, and don't also forget to like it if it is helpful to you. Then don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so yet. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now, if you can still see this red thing here, it means you have not yet subscribed. So you just have to click it so that the next upload, you see it is still red. You have to click it so that if I upload the next video, you'll be informed. click the bell icon too, so that you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.